Well, hi guys, well, thank you so much for joining us. Well, this video is all about the best bits of Azerbaijan. Where to go and what to see. We're the Gupticators, Phil and Izzy. We've been full-time travellers since 2018. Join us on our road trip adventures as we explore the world. And for weekly updates, subscribe, like and turn on that bell notification. So after 6 days exploring the capital city Baku, we rent a car to see the rest of the country. We head north and transit through the nearby city of Uba. First stop, Kinlig, an isolated village in the northernmost part of Azerbaijan, deep in the greater Caucasus, close to the Russian border. The village sits above the clouds in front of us. There was no road here until 2006, meaning it was totally cut off during the winter and barely accessible during the summer months. As we gain elevation and drive through the cloud, it reveals the most remote and beautiful landscape and feels like the land that time forgot. Well, I'm not sure what the village is going to look like, but I can tell you the drive up here is worth it just on its own. Yeah, wow, that's pretty amazing. As we approach the village, it's hard to process the wealth and extravagance of Baku only a few hours earlier against this remote and rustic setting. As we travel deeper into the mountains with the cloud below us, we meet little in the way of traffic, and although the road is good, there's evidence of landslides. But thankfully, we've got an incredible day for it. If you'd like to stop in Kinlig for a day or two, there's a hostel and a couple of guest houses. They're basic and cost between 15 and 30 euros a night. Well, welcome to Kinlig. We're at 2,300 meters. It's the highest village in Azerbaijan. We've got the most perfect day for it. This gorgeous blue sky. We've got snow in the mountains. And it's just breathtaking.
Insulation?
Yeah, fuel.
Ah, drying out.
Yeah. Well, this is a truly fascinating place. We're just walking around. It's pretty steep little tracks, shaly tracks. There's chickens and animals, turkeys, just roaming free. It's pretty chilly actually. But wow, it really is a picture up here. Well, if you enjoy exploring rustic and remote places, this has got to be on your list. Kinlig's origins go back over 5,000 years and is one of the oldest continuously inhabited places in the world. But it's a village's remote location that's kept it safe after invader after invader and preserved it as to what it is today. Although the road's empty, you've got to keep your wits about you. I think we tried to pass each other at the most narrowest point on this road, but it was never going to happen. I'll go back. Well, the drive today has just been absolutely incredible. We've got switchback after switchback and
look at that!
Oh my god, yes!
Oh wow!
Well, look at that cloud, that's just come from nowhere.
Yeah, we're obviously going back into that. What a shame.
And sure enough, as we leave that perfect blue sky behind, we descend through the cloud, and like Georgia and Armenia, you've got to keep your eyes open for animals on the road, and driving at night isn't advisable. Next up, the Gobustan National Park. Azerbaijan has the most mud volcanoes of any country in the world, Approximately 365 of the 700 mud volcanoes are active across the country, and many of them here at Gobustan. Okay, so we're currently in a taxi heading to the mud volcanoes in Gobustan. We tried to get into the museum, we stopped by the police, the barrier was down, and we were told, no, you've got to get a taxi, park your vehicle up, and here we are, we're in the taxi. Alright, see, how's the comfort levels in the back?
Non-existent.
And this is his car, his Go Anywhere Lada. Although on first appearance it looks pretty hostile, this site is very much alive, with gases being released deep within the earth, creating an ever-changing landscape. If you fall now, I've got you on camera, it's okay, you can fall. Well, you can hear this. So not only have we mud, but we have a gas vent as well.
Yeah. It's like, it's got the consistency of really thick hot chocolate, but it's cold. You're supposed to put it on your face, but I don't think I'm going to do that.
You're not?
No.
Not even for camera?
No. Well, I would if my hair was tied back, maybe at the next one.
Okay, how can you work this out?
I don't know. How do you clean them?
What is it?
No, my hair. How do you? What do I do with that now?
NASA geologists have likened Azerbaijan mud volcanoes to planet Mars. Gobustan petroglyphs were first discovered in 1934 by a local miner and are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There's a really active museum here, but the site itself really is all about the petroglyphs. So we're going to jump in the car and go and have a look. The rock art here dates back from 5 to 20,000 years ago and covers 6 periods from ancient to the Middle Ages. Yes. So you can just about see the little men up here. There's approximately 3,500 petroglyphs of stick drawings depicting primitive men with lances, bullfights, camel caravans and pictures of the sun and the stars. Gobustan is also home to foxes, jackals, wolves, but if you speak to any Azerbaijani, the thing they'll warn you about most is the snakes. Some of the rock art is easy to spot, others less so, but there's staff on site to explain and point them out. So we've just spent about 40 minutes slowly ambling around and just learned how life started in Azerbaijan, and I would say it's absolutely worth it. The cost for the museum and the mud volcanoes, providing you've got your own vehicle, is 4 manat each. That's about €1.90 or €2. We leave southern Azerbaijan and travel north to Lahesh, a small village on the southern slopes of the greater Caucasus. There's not much going on out here other than agriculture work, the odd tractor, and it's got the feeling of being remote and exposed. The roads are good for the most part, but you've got to keep your eyes open. We cross a number of mountain passes and barely see another vehicle for hours. Then out of nowhere is Lahesh. Well, if your thing is to get off the beaten track, we've come to a little village called Lahesh, and it's on the southern slopes of the greater Caucasus. And it's a craft village, and it's just full of metalsmiths, clothes, traditional hat makers, all sorts of herbs and local produce. And it's a gorgeous little place just to have a slow meander through. The people here speak the Tat language, Persian by origin, originally from southwestern Iran. Well, the village has a lovely feel about it, and it's one of the most ancient human settlements in Azerbaijan and is widely recognised and regarded as the home of craftsmen within the country. Apart from carpenters, tanners, jewellers and silks, it was the tin and coppersmiths that really put this place on the map, making it a big trading post during the Silk Road times.
And how long?
Yes.
How many days to make this?
15 days.
15 days, wow.
Yeah.
Hello, salam. It was time for lunch and we decided to grab a gutab. It's a national dish and a version of somewhere between a pancake and a crepe, filled with lots of different herbs, and it's absolutely delicious. Is it? How is it?
Really good, really fresh. With the greens, it's lovely. And it's got butter on it. It makes it even better.
As we leave the village, we head northwest onto the Lahesh road, which is barely wide enough for the car, but it makes for a pretty spectacular drive. If it isn't winding mountain roads, it's animals, extremes of weather, more animals on the road, or getting stopped by the local police for speeding, which, by the way, is common practice. So right in the north of the country, we've got the town of Sheki, and this is Sheki Khan's palace. The old town of Sheki has lots going on, and you can certainly spend a few days here. The Silk Road features heavily with an incredible caravanserai, used by traders as a safe place to rest and shelter their animals. There's 600 rooms here in total, and 27 have now been converted into basic hotel rooms at around €25 a night. And you can easily spend a couple of nights here exploring the UNESCO sites. So if you're in Sheki and you've seen the Summer Palace, then you'll want to come and see the Sheki Nova Palace, which is right behind me. And this is actually the Winter Palace of the Sheki Khans.
Okay.
If arts and crafts are your thing, then you'll love it here. We stroll the streets, enjoying all the workshops the Sheki is particularly known for.
It's good for the brain. Good for the brain.
Generation four generation.
Yep.
Your father.
But it's silk and the trading of silk cocoons that put this place firmly on the map. And you can still purchase quality silk garments today. Okay, so I think Izzy's going to make a purchase.
Nicer silk. This feels better than this.
We take a short drive north of Sheki to the small village of Kish. We cross the Kish River, and to the north is the Russian border. We have a quick look around the village and the Albanian Kish church before heading back for lunch. The Azeri people love the pickled veg, but they also love slow-cooked food. And with the help of a lovely local family, they show us how to eat their national dish, a slow-cooked piece of lamb with chickpeas and vegetables in a broth, baked in a clay pot. Okay, Izzy, over to you. Okay, so we have some bread.
Yep. Some sumac. And I'm going to put some onion in mine, which is optional. So that comes on the side. Okay, so then you take the soup, or the piti. And that's it. That's the first course, that's the soup.
Well, I'm down to get your take on it, what it tastes like.
That's actually really delicious.
Okay.
So once you've done the soupy bread bit, you pour everything into the bowl and then you eat it like a stew, I suppose. So there's chickpeas. I have an apricot on the top of mine. There's lamb. And then you can put the onion in if you want.
Good. Right, we've done really well between us. I have to say that Izzy's was absolutely delicious. We've pretty much finished it. It was a little bit salty.
Yeah, I think the Azerbaijani palate is quite salty though.
Yeah.
Everywhere we've been, it's been a bit
salt.
like that, yeah.
But I have to say, yeah. And not expensive actually. It was about £3.50
Yeah.
for £3.50 for this dish here. The pancakes are only about £2.
A pound.
A pound. Sorry, 2 mana, which is about £1, and some potatoes.
Almost a lovely song.
Although Azerbaijan's slowly shaking off its Soviet influence, it's still heavily evident in the numbers of old Lada cars, more noticeable in the countryside where there's less money. The scenery here is pretty epic, and as we pass men selling fish, we head back into the mountains to check out a popular tourist destination. Live.
Well, we're at Lake Goygol at 1,500 metres in the Goygol National Park. We're just about 45-minute drive south of Ganja, which is Azerbaijan's second city. And this lake is known as the Blue Lake. It was created by an earthquake, probably about 1,000 years ago. But for some reason, you're not allowed to go in it. And we don't quite know why. So we're on a mission to find out. Yeah. But you can't swim at all.
Ah.
It's very for tourists, for beauty.
Okay, so after a bit of research, it appears the lake and national park is there just to be looked at, as it's home to bears, leopards, lynx, vultures, wild boar, wolves, jackals and striped hyenas. The main roads in Azerbaijan are pretty good on the most part. However, if you plan to go off the beaten track, it might be an idea to rent a 4x4, as extremes of weather can cause landslides and challenging conditions. Renting a car in Azerbaijan is pretty easy, and outside of Baku, the best way to explore those incredible landscapes. But a couple of things of note. Azerbaijani drivers are pretty aggressive and won't give an inch. Give yourself time when you're planning your route. If you're on mountain roads, it'll take a lot longer than Google Maps states. There's a zero drink drive policy in Azerbaijan, and if you're stopped by the police for any reason, don't get out of your car. But the biggest tip of all, don't drive in Baku. It's chaotic.
How is it, Phil? What's it like driving in Baku?
Driving in Baku is fine. I've got a guy, look, they love the horn. People just edging anywhere they can. And if they can't, they still try and get in. Think about what time of year you're going to visit Azerbaijan, as the extremes of weather can have a huge influence on your experience. From 47, 48 degrees in the summer to huge snowfall in the mountains during the winter months and minus 30 temperatures, making those mountain villages inaccessible. Fuel prices are set by the government in Azerbaijan, so wherever you buy your fuel from whatever garage, it'll be the same price. Well, morning guys. Well, we're at yanardag. It's about 30 minutes outside of Baku. It's a small gas vent that at some point in the past has become lit. No one quite knows how it became lit. And they've really made something of it here. But in fairness, it's quite underwhelming. There's not much here. Right, well finally we'll find some beach. There's a big swell on today. Well, Azerbaijan has so much to offer, and if the history and glitz of Azerbaijan's capital city Baku is more your thing, then check out this video for everything you need to know about the Paris of the East. Whether it's the Atashgar Fire Temple and history of fire worshipping, the 12th century Maiden Tower, or the Palace of the Shahs, Baku's cityscape impresses with modern day architectural gems such as the Flame Towers, the Haydar Aliyev Centre and the Carpet Museum. But it's just a pleasure to slowly wander the green spaces, enjoy a coffee and appreciate this eclectic city. We spent 6 days in Baku and loved it. Well guys, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't already, we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe.
And we'd love for you to leave us a comment.
And we'll see you next
time.
Bye.